I'm Geetha Gurumurthy. Thanks for being with us. Britain's Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer will host Donald Trump at his official country residence Chequers later today as the US President continues his historic second state visit to Britain. After all the pomp and pageantry, politics will take centre stage in the coming hours, with talks expected to be dominated by the conflicts in Gaza and Ukraine, as well as trade. On Wednesday, the King and Queen hosted the President and First Lady at Windsor Castle at a lavish dinner for 160 guests. The King emphasised the deep connections between the two countries and the need to maintain cultural, trade and military links. Donald Trump hailed the special relationship between America and Britain, saying the word special doesn't begin to do it justice. For more on all this, here's our political correspondent, Georgia Roberts.
It was the ultimate in royal hospitality. But today, it's away from the pageantry and onto the politics. Donald Trump will meet Keir Starmer for talks at Chequers, the Prime Minister's official country residence, followed by a joint press conference. After a day of military precision, Downing Street will be all too aware that today presents a greater risk of this unpredictable president going off script. Georgia Roberts, BBC News.
Well, let's speak to Nigel Fletcher, a political historian at King's College in London. Thanks very much for being with us. And the political event does take centre stage after some activity for the First Lady, Melania Trump. But for Donald Trump himself, he is going to be meeting the UK Prime Minister at Chequers. Just first of all, tell us about the official country residence. How did it come to be in the possession of all British Prime Ministers currently when they take office?
Well, it's been in that sort of role for about 100 years, just over 100 years now. It was given to the nation by a former MP called Arthur Lee, who had taken on a lease and then bought the house before the First World War. And the first Prime Minister to use it was Lloyd George. And Lloyd George, a man who came from rather humble origins, was kind of emblematic of the sort of new breed of politicians who weren't the landed gentry. They didn't have their own country houses necessarily. And so the gift was really to ensure that British Prime Ministers had somewhere that they could retreat to and have some time to think and to put things into perspective. It's intended to be somewhere that Prime Ministers can relax away from the pressures of office. So it's quite ironic that over the years, Chequers has started to become a place where Prime Ministers entertain foreign leaders, and Donald Trump arriving now. I mean, it may be many things, but I'm not sure it's going to be a very relaxing day for Keir Starmer.
Yeah, so he's not going to Downing Street, which is obviously the official London residence. I mean, I've been lucky enough to go to Chequers, and it does have a very sort of special and quite intimate ambiance. Why do you think it is being used more and more for these official visits? Is it partly security links? Is it partly to allow guests perhaps to have a slightly more relaxed demeanour, which can help diplomacy?
Well, I think it's two things. I mean, the overriding thing, I think, as you say, will be security, and the fact that if Donald Trump comes to London, we've seen over the last couple of days, there's huge protests. Lots of people don't like the fact that he's here. And so I think there's one reason there that, it keeps him away from crowds who are not going to necessarily be very welcoming to him. But also, it is quite a good place for discussions. We saw Theresa May during the Brexit years using it for an extended cabinet session, which led to an agreement called, the Chequers deal that was part of the Brexit process. It's quite a good place, for a corporate away day, as it were. People are able to sort of get away from departments of government and go and sort of spend some time sort of thrashing out deals. So there is, I think, a very good reason why you want to choose somewhere like Chequers for those kind of talks. But also, I think there's something about the fact that this is the Prime Minister's official residence, but it is a very personal space. It's a historic home. And so I think for a state visit like this, trying to appeal to Donald Trump's ego and sort of trying to sort of say to him that this is something very special. Having come from Windsor Castle, he's now coming to the Prime Minister's official country residence, something which not all leaders get the opportunity to do. They're putting on, I think, an exhibition for him of memorabilia associated with Winston Churchill, of which the president is supposedly a big fan. So I think this is part of the kind of the sort of buttering up of the president to try and sort of appeal to his ego and say this is a very special visit, as well as being just a very helpful place to host the enormous retinue that comes with a US president's visit.
Yeah, prime ministers have used it to work there with their own staff too, haven't they, in the past? It does have that pretty intimate atmosphere. Nigel Fletcher, political historian at King's, thanks very much indeed.
Thank you.